Hey guys, and welcome to Game 1 of STX Seoul versus KT Rolster. This is going to be Flash versus Cal. Apparently both teams bringing in very, very talented players to begin this off. So, neither of these guys really I won't say deserve, neither of these guys really need an introduction. Flash is, of course, hands down probably the best Terran in the game right now. Sometimes, well, at least I call him the Machine. I don't think that's an official name, but man, he is just whew. And then Cal, of course, a former member of the Dragon Club. So, one of the probably 3 best Protoss in the game right now. Taking a backseat to Stork and Bisu, but still it's quite a force to be reckoned with. I'm gonna have to give a nod to Flash, but man, you know, both of these guys, it's sort of like, you know, who wins between Cloud and Squall in Final Fantasy, whoever hits first. So, we got, they're playing on Polaris. Flash is going to be in the upper left, and Cal is in the lower right, so they are cross-position. I don't really know Polaris that well, so if this is a 2-player map, please forgive me. This is one of those, I won't say it's a new map, but it's certainly a map I haven't played on because I've been sort of absorbed by StarCraft 2. Thankfully for you guys, my computer is not good enough to run StarCraft 2 and record at the same time, except if I was recording myself, and I don't want to put you guys through that because I'm not a very good player. If any of you want a game, then you will be disappointed. Okay, so here's a sign in Korean. I don't know what that says. Someone can translate it, although probably not because it's probably not all that interesting. And here's a commentator. Yay, here's back to the game. Apparently this is a 2-player map, or Cal is hacking because he is scouting right away. But if he is hacking, then why would he be scouting? Really? So yes, I learned something about this map. Going in to see what Flash is doing, and looks like Flash isn't doing too much. Maybe he looks like he's gonna try for the gas. Ooh, he gets the gas steal. Man, Flash was trying to deny it too. Flash was sending that SCV up there. So Flash responds by putting up a barrack since he can't make the gas yet. He's gonna need some Marines because having an SCV take out the gas, I mean, he'd get it eventually, but man, he would be spending, you know, the next couple of months just sitting there with his little blowtorch. It is weird. I don't know. How does it take less time to dismantle someone else's building than it takes to build your own? Someone explain that to me. I don't quite get it. I think, you know, SCV should be able to pull that off pretty well. And okay, for a second I thought that he pulled the SCV off, but no, he's still building, and that probe is just being annoying. So yeah, it looks like there are a couple of SCVs. Team effort to bring that assimilator down, because we need a refinery to be in its place. Dude, Protoss trying to build buildings in our base. This is our base, come on! And that probe is still being annoying. Is he actually... Hey, Flash better be careful. He might take that SCV out if he doesn't watch it. Barracks and Gateway are coming up at the same time, so neither player really an advantage there, although of course Protoss currently has 2 assimilators, down to just 1 now. And yeah, Flash was dead on it. He's like, no, you are not stealing it again, screw you. Here comes the Marine, and so this probe is going to have either to leave or have a rather short life, because you can't really you can micro against a Marine, but not very effectively. Seeing that he's just got 1 Marine out, though, Cal is going to go ahead and move for the expansion, get some troops out, and Protoss does do pretty well in the early game against Terran. Until Terran gets a factory up, then Protoss kind of have them beat. Terran can fight against Protoss as long as they wall in, but you certainly can't, you know, put the hurt on the Protoss early on, or you normally can't. Although, granted, this is Flash, and if anyone in the game could put the hurt on Protoss with Marines, it would be Flash. So, don't let me... And it looks like he's going to go do it, too. There goes that annoying probe. Went almost through his shields. Well, no, okay, not quite. Once again, this was downloaded from YouTube, so I can't see all that well. But I can see the big stuff. I can see what goes on. And yeah, the Marines, they're not going to push. They're just... They're trying... Well, maybe they are. I don't know. Flash, make up your mind. You're making me sound like an idiot. Oh, and hey. Is that a that is a proxy. They are going to move out. I think that's a proxy. I couldn't really tell where that was. There's a lot of Marines moving out, though. And there's a Zealot guarding the bridge. Zealot's gonna have one single Zealot's gonna have a hard time guarding the bridge against that many Marines. So there comes the Cybernetics Core, which means I've never quite understood that. Why does the Dragoon require a Cybernetics Core? Dragoons are, I guess they're sort of mechanical, but it's sort of weird. I would think a cybernetics core would be needed for like an observer or some, high-tech unit. A Dragoon is still more or less alive. It's got the little squishy bits of a Dragoon sitting, or a Zealot sitting in it. Yep, if you're a Zealot and you die, you get put in a spider guy and get to walk around. Till you die again. That's one advantage of being a Protoss, you get to die twice! Hey! It's another thing I've never quite understood, because typically there's a lot more Dragoons in StarCraft games than there are Zealots. So where'd all the Dragoons come from? You should have a Dragoon for every Zealot. Clearly, there's some guy up at Blizzard that just plays single player all day and gets his Zealots killed off, so that Pro League can continue. Alright, so random rambling aside, Flash isn't putting on early pressure, and that Scout is not going to make it. Sorry, Scout. Gonna have to say no. That's it almost looks like he's making a Zergling wall, except it's with Marines. Marines usually don't like to be their own wall. They usually like to hide behind buildings, because Marines are pansies. And there's the engineering bay. Flash is getting ready for observers, and there goes the Materning SCVs. Heading out. Oh, and here comes the first tank. Now, what I was saying before, now that Flash has a factory, currently a factory with a machine shop, now Cal needs to start being worried. Because Terran Mech is very, very capable of smacking Protoss around and putting a frown on their face. But he's still doing pretty well. He's got the robotics bay coming down. He's got 2 operational expansions, whereas Flash just got his up. So I would say Cal is actually a little bit in the lead. It's almost too close to call. I mean, it's sort of like, he's got a toe out ahead of Flash, but hey, in programmers, a toe is enough. Alright, we got spider mines, and we have spider mines, and they just started getting the robotics facility, which means observers will not be out for a little bit. So if Flash was going to put down pressure, this would be a good time to do it. Flash apparently doesn't know just how, ahead he is at the moment. And there's a probe, which, again, is going to be unhappy. No scouting for you, Mr. Probe. Well, okay, you get to scout that there's not a base there, but no really important scouting for you. There's a lot of places Flash doesn't have a base. Okay, well, not behind anymore, because there is the observation facility. What is that called? Place that makes observers. So, the spider mines are not going to be nearly as effective. Wow, my tongue just got lost in my throat, or mouth, or wherever my tongue currently is. Here comes the second factory, and Flash is probably researching. It's either going to be Vulture Speed or Siege Tech. And considering he got the machine shop so early, I'm going to assume it's Siege Tech, because he likes having tanks out, because it was the first thing he made. There comes a pylon that is going to die to Vulture Fire. Fragmentation grenades aren't too effective on buildings, but they'll eventually get the job done. Sort of like trying to kill a man with, a piece of paper and give him paper cuts. It'll happen eventually, but you'll be there for a while. Death by paper cuts. Yeah, I have to do a lot of filing up at work, and I don't like paper cuts. They're not my friends. Here comes 2 more gateways, so Cal is starting to macro up. Almost, I guess it's not that surprising. And here it comes. Come on. Man, just coming up here just in time. Nope, they are. Nope, just in time to watch the pylon die. So, they do manage to get around the spider mines, but spider mine did prevent it. And here comes an observer into the base. Gonna come over here and see that Flash is making a command center, is about ready to start expanding again. Probably to that base he scouted earlier. So he's going to keep an observer eye on that. And meanwhile, he's looking to expand here in a second too. He's got a pylon wall going up in order to keep vultures from running in and ruining his day. Observer probably sees a pretty heavy tank force as well, which may give him hesitation because Dragoons do okay against tanks, but with this many vultures and marines, the tanks should be able to kind of stay back and just punish Dragoons from afar. And there is a very interesting place for a missile turret. Usually you don't like missile turrets where they will interfere with mining, but he's not expecting to expand to there right now. I think he's just trying to catch an observer off guard. We'll take that out later. That is, of course, the purpose of the missile turret is to kill off observers as they come in. That way the mines are much more effective. He doesn't have tank support, right? Oh, yes, he does. There's the tanks. I didn't see them for a second. They are a little bit out of position because the Dragoons are able to avoid them. I don't see... I mean, they're able to catch right as they come off the bridge, but there they are. They are in, and the tanks have to relocate. There, that would be a better place for your tanks there. And so Dragoons are up on Flash's side of the map, but they're not really in a position to do a whole lot because of this little choke point right here. So, and there's a supply depot. That is an unusual position, but I know why it's there. That is to screw up Dragoon micro. Dragoons, will pick a target when they very first get into range and just keep hammering it until it's dead. So if you can get them to pick a supply depot when they first get into range, well, they'll sit there, I'm going to kill the supply depot! Meanwhile, they're getting shelled by tanks. Not very good for Dragoons. This is one of the reasons that Mind, which is another Protoss player, sometimes it's called the Brain Toss, because his Dragoons actually act smart. Not because the game is nice to him, but just because he has that good of micro. A lot of lesser players just get their Dragoons slaughtered. And slaughtered Dragoons are not your friend. So, we've got a good little econ game going right now. A few of them have tried to harass the other, but really no one's been all that successful. I don't think a single probe or SCV has died, except for the, probe that died while he was trying to scout. So, I'm going to say Flash has a slight edge because of that. No, I'm just kidding. Killing a single probe that wasn't meant to be mining is not that much of an advantage. It's an advantage, don't get me wrong, but not that much.